So this is your first hunt. And you've come to the most dangerous planet in the universe.
Predator Badlands. We got another Predator movie, and it's the second one this year, and Killer of Killers was pretty good. So did this one succeed? Well, let's see. So when I heard that it was Dan Trachtenberg, who did Prey and helped do Killer of Killers, was going to do another Predator movie, and it was going to take place in the future, I immediately started going, okay, I'm glad they're going the path of, each movie, it's set in a different time period. Because, after Prey, I was like, you know what, they should do this. And Killer of Killers, you had it in, the Viking Age, you had it in Japan, and World War, I think it was II, I believe. And so it seemed like, all right, they're going the path that, fans were saying. And I'm glad they listened, because both Prey and Killer of Killers were both pretty good. Now, I still think Prey is the best one, and Killer of Killers, I liked it until around the third act, when they combined all of the characters' stories together, and it's like, I don't really know about this anymore. But it was still really good. So now we have Predator Badlands. And I also, when I found out that, it's going to be blending with Alien, that's kind of cool, but we've seen that done before with Paul W.S. Anderson, and that was honestly dog shit. So I don't know how I feel about this. But I went in with expectations low, and, I'll share with what I feel. But anyway, so the story of this one is the Predator that we have, his name is Deke. He watched his brother get killed by his father, and he needs to go off to this planet, I think it was Gina, where everything wants to kill you. Literally everything. I mean, they have, from insects, that tiny little like worm-like insects that explode, to razor glass or grass, which is just sharp grass, which, that's something. But he's there to get the biggest creature, but also finds a Weyland-Yutani android named Thea, who says, yeah, Weyland-Yutani is here for the same thing. So it becomes a battle of who gets there first, and an unlikely buddy film with the two of them. So right off the bat, the positives, the action, despite it being PG-13, when I did hear that it was PG-13, I immediately went, oh man, like, okay, maybe. But then I saw the movie and I went, okay, it still has the same brutality as Prey and Killer of Killers do, but they said, okay, you could be as brutal as you want, but the blood can't be red and it can't be human. Then that's how they got the PG-13 rating. So the action in here, while being PG-13, it still has the same brutality as the previous films do, which is cool, because that's something I was going to miss. But yeah, you see like arms getting sliced off, you see decapitations, you see, like slicing and dicing in this, but it's not red and it's not human. I won't spoil what it is, but you just have to see the movie. So if you have the doubts of, okay, it's not going to be the same brutal as the previous films, no, it is there. It's just not human. So it's there. So don't worry about that. So the action here was really cool, especially in the second half. The score I thought was really cool, because it is Benjamin Wolfish and Sarah Schachner. And I was like, that, by themselves, these are two composers that can really just nail it. I mean, Benjamin Wolfish, he's done, from stuff to like, Blade Runner 2049 to It, and is doing the new Dairy series. That guy is pretty much a chameleon now. Where with Sarah Schachner has done a lot of video game stuff. Like she did, I think, one or a couple of the Call of Duty. She did, I think, one of the Assassin's Creed games. So, and there's parts in here where it's like, okay, this kind of feels very Wallfish, and then some action parts that feels very like Schachner. It feels very video game-esque. So the score in here is really cool. And I'll also say this, the creativity of the world building is really cool. Like they went, hey, what if we have this? What if we have this? What if we have this? And it's like, oh, that's really cool. And a lot of it, you feel like, okay, it's just for that one little moment. But towards the end, when they bring everything together, and it was like, oh, so they actually have a bigger purpose than what they are there for. They're not just there to just be like, hey, look at that. That's a cool little thing about this world. And they actually bring it in later. It's like, oh, that's cool. All right. There's a bigger purpose to this. I like that. Now, some of the negatives I have. Now, I've seen this across the board, but a lot of people liked it more than I did. There are a lot of things in this movie that is very heavily on what Disney has been doing with their princess movies and their Star Wars movies. Like family drama, unlikely buddy film, but the biggest one for me is the cute and funny companion. Because when this happens, the family drama and buddy film aspect to it didn't really bother me that much, but they do get a cute and funny little companion, and it's like, oh, this is like Star Wars. This is like the princess movies where they have to have like a little cute, little funny companion who just is there to be cute and funny. And they kind of do the same thing here. But towards the second half, when you realize, oh, this companion actually has a bigger purpose, they're not just there to be funny and adorable. I was like, all right, that's kind of cool. But it was still kind of there, where it was very glaring. It was very glaring for me. And I was like, okay, I guess. And the other thing is, Elle Fanning. She's really good in this movie because she's playing two different characters, because she is the android by Weyland-Yutani, but she's playing two different variants of the android. We have Thea, who is the one who helps the Predator, or Deke, through his hunt, and you see in like the posters and trailers, she's got no lower half, she's got no legs. And Tessa, who is the bad guy, pretty much. And she's the one that's like, trying to like get the Predator killed and all that jazz. And she does like it's very different, with Thea, she's very kind of, trying to be funny, very outspoken and a little bit ditzy. But with Tessa, she's very like almost like calm, collective, like very static, like a robot. And while that's cool to see, with Tessa, she was just kind of stupid. And I tried to think like, okay, maybe it was like faulting in her wiring. Maybe she like, that kind of like, you should have wore the bicycle, or you should have wore the helmet when you're riding the bicycle kind of thing. And it's like, now you're just kind of like, duh, a little bit. So I started thinking that, and I'm like, no, I'm wondering if they just programmed her like this. And I'm thinking like, why do they program her just kind of really dumb? And there were times where I was going like, okay, you need to stop talking, please. Like, please, because you're like, it's constant yapping and yapping and yapping. And I'm like, oh my God, okay, stop, please. It's like that scene in the first Shrek movie when they go to the castle, and Shrek turns to Donkey and just goes, Donkey, two things. Shut up. It was kind of the same thing. It was kind of the same thing. So, you know, overall, this was enjoyable while I still had issues with it. I do think Dan Trachtenberg knows what the hell he's doing when it comes to Predator. And the fact that this is his third time around, because I do count Killer of Killers because he technically half directed that movie. The fact that this is his third time around and he's gotten 3 for 3. Yeah, he knows what he's doing. So from as much as, you know, the issues I had from like the previous Disney films, but also Elle Fanning's good android character kind of just being a ditz. As much as she is really good in this, her character was just kind of dumb. And I'm like, is something wrong with your wiring? Do you have do androids have a mute button? But, you know, for the most part, this succeeded. I was very pleasantly surprised. The first half was definitely a lot like, okay, we got to get into this. And then the second half kicks in and it's like, all right, this is it. This is awesome. So pretty good. And yeah, I personally think this gets like maybe a low great. It's still a great. I still think Prey is the best one out of these new Predator films that have been coming out the past couple years. Where Killer of Killers and Badlands comes in, you're going to have to talk, like, I'm going to have to actually sit down on that one. But yeah, Prey is still my favorite, but this one was still a fairly good outing. And if they want to do another one where it's set in a different time period and Dan Trachtenberg will do it, I'm all for it.
We might not be alone in this hunt.